They say money's not everything, but I reckon it's up there with oxygen, eh? You're definitely going to need it in your life if you want to make your life a little bit easier. In this video, I'm going to talk about 7 ways to increase the gross profitability in your business and make sure you're putting more money on the bottom line to go into your pocket. G'day, Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Max My Profit, and we're all about helping you build the business you imagine. So if you imagined having a business that made more profit, then this video is definitely for you. After 20 odd years of being in the business coaching and training industry, I've helped many business owners go about increasing their profitability. And the first step is to understand how to go about increasing your gross profit. Now, this is the profit that you make after the cost of getting the sale. And I'm going to give you 7 tips today on exactly how you can go about doing that. Now, my first tip, I'm going to come straight out of the gate and get out of the way because I know it's going to make you feel uncomfortable, and that is for you to increase your prices. Now, before you click off this video, hear me out. Most people undervalue what it is they sell and they underprice what they sell. And if you are competing on price, if you say, oh, but Ben, I'll lose customers if I do that, when you probably need to work out how to add value to your product or service because you should be able to charge more than your competitors. You do not need to be the cheapest. In fact, price competition is a race, and it's a race that you do not want to win because it's a race to the bottom. I suggest starting with a 5 or 10% increase in your prices. The good news is that straight away flows through to your gross profit margins and of course to your net profit margins and puts more money in your pocket. I can also guarantee that you will not lose many customers when you do it. Now, if you want to see an exercise that I take you through explaining the numbers on what percentage of customers you would need to lose for your price increase to be ineffective, I do have another video on this YouTube channel on how or why you should increase your prices. Go and find that video, and I'm sure after watching that, you will be charging more tomorrow. Right, tip number 2 on increasing your gross profit margin is to negotiate with your suppliers. Now, this is something many business owners do not think about doing. However, you can do this every 90 days, every month if you want, but contact your suppliers that you buy from on a regular basis and just ask if you can get a better deal. Sometimes you'll be surprised. It could be just 1%, it could be 5%, it could be 10%. It may be, maybe you have to give them all of your business rather than dealing with several suppliers. You might have to negotiate some sort of bulk purchasing, but there's definitely a benefit in negotiating with suppliers. At least have the conversation. The worst thing that can happen is they'll say no. The best thing that will happen is they'll give you a better deal. And that means that you'll increase your gross profit margins, and that also ends up down in your net profit and in your back pocket. So if you're all about making a bit more money, then definitely negotiate with your suppliers. All right, tip number 3 is to really focus on promoting higher margin goods or services. Now, this will mean that you'll need to look at your profit and loss statements or talk to your accountant about which products or services that you offer have the highest gross margins. Now, it goes without saying, from a mathematical point of view, if you sell more of those, then your gross profit margin will increase. Once you know what these products and services are, these are the things that you should be promoting, and things like your email marketing, your Facebook advertising, your Google AdWords, even your salespeople should be more incentivized to sell the higher gross margin goods because it means that you're going to have a better gross profit in your business, which will increase to higher profits on the bottom line. So have a look for those different products and services, even if you just identify 1 or 2 to start with, and then you can start expanding it out at your full range as you start to learn more about how you can offer those products or services to your clients in different ways so they're more compelling than the lower margin goods that you might have. Tip number 4 is an easy one to say, but a hard one to do, and that is to become more efficient. Now, one of the things that efficiency equals to is productivity, and productivity equals profitability. So if you can really get your team to be super efficient, it could be new equipment. So if you've got old equipment that fails on a regular basis and creates problems, whether it means customers are coming back with things to be redone, or if your team are taking longer to do things than they should because the equipment's not doing the work, whether it's old computers, then I would suggest upgrading that equipment. If it's things that are still being done manually, ask your team if they know of ways that we can automate tasks in the business. Your team are there to help you come up with ways to be more efficient. So I would have a monthly brainstorming session with my team and say, how can we be more efficient at doing what it is that we do in our business? Let's think about the different key areas of our business, whether it's welcoming a customer in the door, whether it's delivering a product, whether it's fixing something, assembling something. Think about how you can do it more efficiently, because efficiency equals profitability. All right, tip number 5, and I'm a bit biased on this one because I own a business coaching and training business, but that is to get a business coach or an expert to come in and help you understand how to go about increasing your gross profitability. Business coaches typically work with dozens of businesses, and it's a key area that we will work with any business owner because it's low-hanging fruit. There's no doubt about it that increasing your gross profit is one of the easiest things to do in a business. A lot of people want to think of marketing. They'll start with marketing, but let me tell you, marketing is the last thing you want to do. It's the most expensive and the most riskiest thing that you can do in a business. I'd rather increase your gross profit first because that's going to go all the way down to the bottom line and into your back pocket. So if you're not working with somebody already, I would highly I recommend that you consider finding yourself a business coach or a mentor that you can work with that has experience in growing a business and increasing the gross profitability. Tip number 6 is to start charging for things that you may offer for free now. So maybe you've got some sort of consulting, quoting even, or drawing up rough plans for something. A lot of businesses will do that for free, and that costs money. So it takes your time and energy. In particular, if you're using contractors to deliver that work, then of course they become a cost of sale, and that affects your gross margin. So consider some of the things that you may currently do for free or for very little, and see if can you increase that price, or can you charge for something that you don't currently charge for. It's a huge opportunity in many businesses, and I highly recommend that you think about whether or not that is something that you can do. Tip number 7 to finish up this video is to change the way that you package your product or service, you install them, or maybe how you deliver your product or service. Sometimes we see a lot of wasted money in packaging or in delivery installation costs because of the way that they're being done. And when I ask people, why are you doing it that way? Quite often they say, well, that's just the way we have always done it. So I'm going to challenge the status quo. I'm going to say, have a look at what it is you currently, how you package your goods, how you deliver your goods, how you install your goods or your services, and think about, is there a way that it could be done more efficiently or better? Could you use could you use contractors? Could you use employees? Could you use your own van versus using a courier company? Whatever it might be, have a think about how you currently do those things in your business right now, and look for the low-hanging fruit, the things that you can change that will instantaneously increase your gross profit margin. In particular, if you're using transport to deliver a product or service, that is a cost of goods sold or a cost of sale, and that can quite often run into a large percentage of cost for business, as in logistics. So it's definitely an area that you should be looking at. All right, so there's my 7 tips on increasing the gross profit margin in your business. As I said, one of the tips was to talk with somebody who is an expert in helping business owners grow their business. And I'm going to encourage you to head across to our website, which is maxmyprofit.com.au, and check out there. There's lots of free information, but you can certainly contact the team about helping you build the business you imagined.